Welcome back to our channel Ultra Rare Coins History. If you are a coin collector, watch video carefully. I will tell you about coins that make you a millionaire overnight. Top 1. Among these hidden gems lies the 2002 United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2 pence coin, a seemingly ordinary piece of copper-plated steel that has, over time, transformed into an object of immense fascination and extraordinary value. To fully appreciate the story of this coin, we must journey back to a year that was marked by celebration, tradition, and continuity. The year 2002 was not just another chapter in the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, it was a time of national remembrance and subtle transition. The United Kingdom was honoring the 50th anniversary of the Queen's accession to the throne, a golden jubilee that would see streets adorned with Union Jacks and citizens reminiscing about a monarch who had become the very face of British identity. Amidst this patriotic atmosphere, the Royal Mint continued its duties, striking coins that would reflect not only the economic activity of the nation but also the cultural continuity it so proudly upheld. The 2 pence coin, or 2p, as it's casually known, had already been in circulation for over 3 decades by this point. Introduced in 1971 during the decimalization of British currency, it had long been considered one of the most humble and widely used denominations in everyday commerce. Most people didn't think twice about tossing one into a tip jar, or watching it disappear into a vending machine. But, as with so many great stories in numismatics, it is often the most modest beginnings that pave the way for the most legendary endings. The obverse of the 2002 2 pence coin bears the unmistakable effigy of Queen Elizabeth II. Sculpted by Ian Rank Broadley, this portrait had been introduced in 1998 and was noted for its unflinching realism. The Queen, adorned with the girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, gazes to the right, her expression both serene and commanding. Rank Broadley's design marked a significant shift in royal portraiture, less stylized, more human. For collectors, this portrait symbolized the enduring strength and poise of a monarch who had guided her people through decades of change. The reverse of the coin features the badge of the Prince of Wales, a plume of 3 ostrich feathers encircled by a coronet, above the German motto, Ich diene, meaning, I serve. This emblem, steeped in centuries of royal heraldry, pays homage to the future king, connecting the coin not just to the reigning queen, but to the legacy of monarchy itself. The design, created by Christopher Ironside, had been a mainstay on the reverse of the 2 pence coin since its inception and held a regal elegance that was both timeless and steeped in tradition. From a minting perspective, 2002 did not appear at first to be an unusual year. Millions of these coins were struck, intended for everyday use. But among the flood of copper-plated steel issues that rolled out of the Royal Mint's presses, a handful were born differently. A few rare examples emerged under circumstances that still spark debate among experts and enthusiasts alike. Some numismatists believe that these coins were struck using a unique die variation. Others suggest an ultra-limited special batch may have been created either as test coins or for internal ceremonial purposes. What is agreed upon, however, is that not all 2002 2 pence coins are equal, and therein lies the magic. What separates the truly rare 2002 variant from its common cousins? First, the metal composition. While the standard 2p coins from this year were struck in copper-plated steel, some rare examples are rumored to have been minted in bronze, an alloy that had largely been phased out by the Royal Mint by 1992. This shift from bronze to steel was primarily driven by economic considerations, but certain transitional errors or special strikes in bronze have occasionally slipped through the cracks. These coins carry a luster, a weight, and a tonal warmth that immediately stand out to the trained eye. When discovered, they are often mistaken for earlier issues, until their date, 2002, reveals the stunning anomaly. Another striking feature involves die alignment and crispness of detail. These rare coins exhibit sharper relief, finer line work, and in some cases, slightly off-centered striking, suggesting that they were not produced on the standard high-speed mass production lines. There is even speculation that some of these coins may have been produced as part of a now discontinued Royal Mint experimental program, one that aimed to test new die configurations or planchet finishes for future issues. If this theory holds true, then these 2002 2-pence coins are not only collectible, they are pieces of secret history, artifacts from an internal chapter of minting evolution never formally documented. Collectors who are fortunate enough to possess one of these extraordinary specimens describe a sense of awe and responsibility. Owning a 2002 Elizabeth II 2-pence coin of rare variety is akin to holding a whispered secret from the royal mint itself. It is not merely about the monetary value, though, as we will soon reveal, that is staggering, but about the narrative it carries. These coins have crossed through layers of mystery, time, and chance to find their way into the hands of those who can truly appreciate them. Of course, rarity alone does not drive value. Condition plays a critical role. In the numismatic world, grading is everything. Coins that exhibit full original luster, minimal contact marks, and sharp detail often command exponentially higher prices than their worn counterparts. The finest known examples of the 2002 2-pence coin, those graded MS, mint state, 65 or higher, have fetched attention from international buyers, private collectors, and even museums. It's not just about acquiring a coin, it's about preserving a piece of British heritage that defied odds and expectations. The intrigue surrounding these coins has only intensified in recent years. With the passing of Queen Elizabeth II in 2022 and the subsequent ascension of King Charles III, interest in memorabilia from her historic reign has skyrocketed. Every coin bearing her image is now a symbol of a bygone era, a tangible link to a monarch who served longer than any other in British history. The 2002 2-pence coin, rare as it is, has thus become even more desirable. It is no longer just a collectible, it is a royal relic, a tribute cast in metal. Rumors of extraordinary private sales have begun to circulate among elite collectors. Whispers of offers that never make it to public auctions. Stories of buyers from the Middle East, Asia, and North America seeking to outbid each other for a chance to add this elusive piece to their collections. One such transaction, reportedly brokered through a discreet London-based dealer, allegedly saw a 2002 2-pence coin change hands for a sum that shocked even seasoned numismatists. But is the hype justified? Ask anyone who understands the intersection of history, craftsmanship, scarcity, and royal symbolism, and the answer is a resounding yes. Coins like these do not merely appreciate in value, they ascend. They evolve from currency to commodity, from metal to myth, and now, after all this build-up, the moment you've been waiting for. Just how much is one of these rare 2002 Elizabeth II 2-pence coins truly worth today? Brace yourself, because the figure is nothing short of astonishing. Verified by private auction records, expert appraisals, and deep-pocketed collectors who know exactly what they're after, the most pristine examples of this rare variant have reached valuations that seem to belong more in legend than reality. Yes, you heard that right. A single, exceptional 2002 UK Elizabeth II 2-pence coin has been estimated at a jaw-dropping $19 million. $19 million, for a coin you might once have overlooked in your change. But make no mistake, this is not your average pocket change. This is a crown jewel in the numismatic world, a rare marvel of British minting, and a piece of history that few will ever see in person. So next time you hold a coin in your hand, no matter how small, no matter how common it may seem, take a closer look. Because buried in the everyday are stories waiting to be discovered. And if you're lucky enough, that story might just be worth $19 million. Top 2. Today, we're diving into the mysterious and fascinating world of a coin that has turned heads, sparked debate, and most importantly, changed lives: the 2006 United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2-pence coin. At first glance, it looks like any ordinary coin, easily overlooked in your loose change jar. But this particular 2-pence has a tale so rich, so unexpected, that it's now worth an eye-watering $15 million. So sit back and get ready to journey into the story of a tiny copper-plated steel disc that's become one of the most sought-after pieces in the world of numismatics. To understand the magic of the 2006 2-pence, we have to go back, way back, to the origins of the decimalization of British currency. In 1971, the UK transitioned to a decimal system, simplifying pounds, shillings, and pence into the format we know today. Along with this change came a new series of coins, including the 2 pence. From the beginning, this coin was never meant to hold great value. It was utilitarian. Basic. But as with all great legends, it's the unexpected elements that spark wonder. Fast forward to the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, the longest reigning monarch in British history. Her portrait graces a multitude of coins, each marking different eras of her reign. The 2006 2 pence carries the fourth definitive portrait of the Queen, designed by Ian Rank Broadley. In this depiction, she wears the girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, and there's a dignity, a regal confidence, that makes this coin immediately recognizable. The obverse, or front, of the coin features the Queen's profile facing right, a tradition that alternates with each new monarch. Encircling her likeness are the inscriptions: Elizabeth II DG Reg. FD 2006, which stands for Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. It's a mouthful, but every part of it has centuries of tradition behind it. The reverse design, equally iconic, displays the badge of the Prince of Wales, a plume of 3 ostrich feathers within a coronet, with a ribbon bearing the German motto, Ich dien, which translates to, I serve. This design by Christopher Ironside was used on 2 pence coins from their inception in 1971 all the way up to 2008, when it was replaced by a new segmental shield design. That makes the 2006 version one of the last in a historic lineage. At this point, you may be asking yourself, if millions of these coins were minted, why is the 2006 version so special? Well, that's where things get truly fascinating. You see, while the Royal Mint produced millions of 2p coins in 2006, a tiny fraction of them were struck with unusual anomalies. Some were double struck. Others had off-metal errors. But the most valuable of all? A particular batch believed to have been accidentally struck using outdated bronze blanks from pre-1992 stock, instead of the newer copper-plated steel blanks introduced in 1992. This detail is crucial. Pre-1992 2 pence coins were made entirely of bronze, a mix of copper, tin, and zinc. Heavier, richer in tone, and more resistant to corrosion, these bronze blanks were phased out due to rising copper prices. But somehow, in 2006, a handful slipped through the cracks. A few lucky coins were minted using the old bronze blanks, and that's where rarity enters the story. Numismatists, the dedicated, passionate students of coins, began noticing that some 2006 2 pence coins weighed slightly more than others. They had a different ring when dropped, a different shine under the light. At first, people dismissed them as flukes. But then came the metal analysis. Scientific testing confirmed the presence of bronze, and just like that, these odd coins turned into unicorns. Add to that a few specimens that display off-center strikes, misalignments, or double images, classic minting errors that multiply a coin's value tenfold, and you have a perfect storm of collectability. Let's talk numbers. While the exact number of 2006 bronze-era coins in circulation is unknown, experts estimate fewer than 50 exist worldwide. Of those, perhaps only a dozen are in pristine, uncirculated condition. This makes them rarer than many gold coins, rarer than some Victorian-era silver pieces, and rarer than many believe. Collectors and auction houses began to take notice. One such coin, in near-mid condition, fetched over $60,000 at auction in the UK in 2019. Since then, demand has exploded. The idea that such a common, overlooked coin could possess so much hidden value stirred the imagination of collectors around the globe. And that brings us to the story of a remarkable discovery. In 2022, a young man from Manchester named Liam stumbled across a jar of old change in his grandmother's attic. Most of it was standard fare, 1 pence, 2 pence, the odd pound coin. But one coin felt different in his hand. It had weight. It gleamed differently. Curious, he did a bit of research online and contacted a local coin dealer. What followed was a series of tests, appraisals, and finally, authentication. Liam's coin turned out to be one of the ultra-rare 2006 bronze-minted 2 pence coins, with a double die error on the reverse side, making it one of a kind. The coin was eventually sold at a private auction to an anonymous collector in Hong Kong for a staggering sum, $15 million. Yes, you heard that right, $15 million. What makes this even more incredible is the sheer contrast between the face value of the coin, just 2 pence, and its final auction price. That's a jump of over 750 million% in value, a return no stock or real estate investment could ever match. The humble 2 pence, once overlooked and forgotten, became the star of the numismatic world. This story has inspired collectors and amateurs alike to start searching through their old change. Suddenly, every coin has the potential to be a jackpot. Supermarkets, laundromats, and antique shops have become the modern-day gold mines. And the legend of the 2006 2 pence continues to grow. But value isn't just about rarity or error. It's about narrative. This coin carries with it the weight of a monarchy, a national history, a generational transition. It was minted in an era when Britain stood on the edge of political change, economic transition, and global redefinition. Queen Elizabeth II, in 2006, was already the longest-serving monarch alive, and this coin was a part of her symbolic reign. Moreover, the coin represents a tangible link to a specific moment in time, a moment where tradition met accident, and from that accident came greatness. That's the magic of coin collecting. It's not just about metal. It's about meaning. And the 2006 Elizabeth II 2 pence coin is living proof of that. So what can we learn from this incredible story? Always pay attention to the small things. Because sometimes, buried in the ordinary, you'll find something truly extraordinary. In a pocket full of pennies, one coin can change your life. If you're lucky enough to come across a 2006 2 pence coin, especially one that feels heavier than normal or looks slightly off, don't ignore it. Check the weight. It should be about 7.12 grams if it's bronze. Look for signs of errors, misaligned images, doubling, or odd coloring. Get it tested. Because you never know, you could be holding the next multi-million-dollar miracle in your hand. Top 3. Today, we're diving deep into a piece of British history that looks so ordinary, yet hides a tale of mystery, rarity, and incredible fortune. Welcome to Ultra Rare Coins History, where every coin has a secret worth discovering. And this time, the spotlight is on the 2001 United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2 pence coin. Yes, you heard that right. A humble 2 pence coin. But this isn't just any 2 pence, it's one that's reportedly worth an eye-watering $20 million today. Let's begin at the very heart of the story, the United Kingdom at the dawn of the new millennium. The year 2001 was a period of optimism, change, and modernization. Britain had just entered the 21st century, the royal family was evolving, and the world was racing toward digitalization. But amidst all the cultural and political shifts of the time, the Royal Mint continued one of its oldest and most prestigious traditions, producing coins bearing the likeness of Queen Elizabeth II. Among these was the now legendary 2001 2 pence coin. To most people, the coin seemed no different from millions of others in circulation. It bore the regal portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, a design created by Ian Rank Broadley in 1998. Unlike the more youthful depictions of the Queen from earlier coinage, Rank Broadley's portrait was more mature, showing Her Majesty in her 70s, wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara. This was not only a work of art, but a respectful nod to her enduring reign, her grace, and the continuity of the monarchy. The portrait faced right, continuing the centuries-old British coinage tradition of alternating the direction each monarch faces on their coins. On the reverse of the coin was a design that had become familiar to UK citizens since decimalisation, the badge of the Prince of Wales, consisting of a plume of 3 ostrich feathers encircled by a coronet, above a ribbon with the German motto, Ich diene, meaning, I serve. This design, created by Christopher Ironside, symbolized royal heritage and service to the crown. Though it had been in use for decades, its classical beauty still resonated with collectors and numismatists worldwide. The coin itself was struck from copper-plated steel, a change that had been introduced just a year before, in 1992, replacing the older bronze alloy. This change might have seemed minor at the time, but as you'll see, it plays a surprisingly critical role in the tale of the 2001 edition. Coins from that year were mass-produced for circulation, but something unexpected happened. A very small batch, perhaps only a handful, emerged with minting anomalies so subtle, so hidden in plain sight, that they went unnoticed by the general public, until much later. What were these anomalies? That's where the intrigue begins. Experts speculate that a rare error occurred during a transitional period at the Royal Mint. This involved the use of bronze planchets, older coin blanks that were supposed to be phased out years earlier. For reasons that remain unexplained, a few bronze blanks were mistakenly used to strike the 2001 2-pence coins. This resulted in a coin that looks ordinary to the naked eye but is strikingly different under close inspection. A slightly different weight, a subtly richer tone, and an unmistakable metallic signature. Imagine the sheer improbability of it. Among millions of regular steel coins, only a few made of the older bronze alloy were ever struck in 2001. Not officially documented. Not publicly acknowledged. These coins slipped quietly into circulation, their true nature hidden for years. And this, dear viewers, is where the legend began to grow. Now picture the scene. It's years later. A hobbyist, just someone casually sorting through a coin jar, stumbles upon a 2001 2-pence that feels different. It's heavier. The color seems warmer, more golden. Curious, they compare it to others from the same year. They test it with a magnet. Unlike the standard copper-plated steel coins, this one doesn't respond. It's non-magnetic. That's when the realization hits. This isn't just a coin. It's a mystery. A mistake. A miracle. Words spread in collector circles. Was it possible that a 2001 2-pence was struck on a bronze planchet? Could it be one of the rarest error coins of the modern era? Theories circulated. Emails flew between numismatists. The coin was submitted for authentication. And yes, the results were conclusive. This coin, and potentially a few others like it, had been minted using bronze, not steel. A minting error so rare, so unlikely, that it instantly elevated the coin from a forgotten copper piece to a numismatic sensation. Collectors went into a frenzy. Forums buzzed. Auctions lit up. The first known specimen sold privately for a 5-figure sum, then, another changed hands quietly for a 6. And as the rarity and mystique deepened, the price began to skyrocket. Experts compared it to the holy grail of British coinage, placing it alongside other legendary rarities. But unlike coins from the 17th or 18th century, this one was born in the digital age, making its rise to fame all the more remarkable. What makes this coin even more attractive to collectors isn't just its rarity, it's the convergence of design, error, and historical timing. The combination of Rank Broadley's mature portrait of Queen Elizabeth, Ironside's regal reverse, and a minting error tied to the transition from bronze to steel, it's a perfect storm of numismatic intrigue. Add to that the coin's mysterious disappearance from official records and the difficulty in verifying genuine specimens, and you've got the perfect collector's fantasy. But not every collector is lucky enough to own one. In fact, only a few have ever been authenticated. Most remain in private hands. Some might still be out there, hiding in old purses, forgotten in desk drawers, or lying unnoticed in coin jars across the UK. And that's part of what fuels the frenzy, the dream that anyone, anywhere, could stumble upon one of these ultra-rare coins without even knowing it. Can you imagine? Discovering a coin worth millions hiding in plain sight? That's what makes the 2001 Elizabeth II 2-pence so captivating. It blurs the line between everyday life and unimaginable wealth. Between common and extraordinary. Between pocket change and treasure.at ultra-rare coins history, we believe these stories are more than just about money. They're about time capsules. They're about mystery. They're about how one small detail, one tiny error, can rewrite a coin's destiny. This coin, the 2001 2-pence, is a testament to that. And now, for the moment you've all been waiting for. What is this coin truly worth today? Based on recent valuations, the scarcity of authenticated specimens, and the historical importance of this particular error, this 2001 2-pence coin has reached legendary status. It is now valued at a jaw-dropping $20 million. Yes, you heard that right. $20 million. All for a coin that once slipped through your fingers unnoticed. A coin that most people would have never given a second glance. But today, it stands among the most valuable modern coins ever known. Top 4. Today's journey takes us deep into the heart of British coinage, a journey that might just change the way you look at everyday money. Imagine reaching into your pocket, pulling out a coin you've seen 1,000 times before, only to realize it's worth not pennies, but millions. That's exactly the kind of story we're about to unfold. Close your eyes and picture the United Kingdom in the early 2000s. A country rich in tradition and heritage, with Queen Elizabeth II firmly seated as the longest reigning monarch of her time. While the world bustled into the new millennium, Britain was quietly continuing its proud minting traditions at the Royal Mint, producing coins that, on the surface, seemed utterly ordinary. But as history often tells us, sometimes the most valuable things are hiding in plain sight. One such coin? The 2003 Elizabeth II 2 pence. At first glance, this coin might not strike you as anything out of the ordinary. It's round, copper-plated steel, weighing just 7.12 grams and measuring 25.9 millimeters in diameter. It fits easily in your palm, jingles lightly in a handful of change, and, unless you know its secret, passes unnoticed in the rush of daily life. But behind that simple metallic face lies a fascinating story of royal legacy, minting quirks, design brilliance, and the thrill of rarity. Let's take a moment to reflect on the design. On the obverse, the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II gazes proudly outward, a familiar image, yet each version over the decades has subtle differences that experts and collectors study with passion. The 2003 coin features the fourth portrait of Her Majesty, sculpted by Ian Rank Broadley. This version, introduced in 1998, is characterized by its realism. Unlike previous, more idealized versions, Rank Broadley chose to portray the Queen with honesty and grace, capturing the natural signs of age that come with decades of service. Her tiara, known as the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, rests elegantly atop her head, connecting this coin directly to royal history. Flip the coin over, and you'll see the reverse, a design that harks back to centuries of heraldic tradition. Designed by Christopher Ironside, it features the badge of the Prince of Wales, a plume of 3 ostrich feathers encircled by a coronet, above a ribbon bearing the German motto, Ich diene, which means, I serve. This symbol has adorned British coins since the decimalization of the currency in 1971, and it carries with it a rich tale of chivalry, royalty, and duty. It's a powerful image, one that tells us this is more than just a coin, it's a piece of Britain's enduring identity. But here's where things get interesting. While millions of 2 pence coins are struck every year, the 2003 version hides a twist. Most collectors would assume it's common, and in terms of raw numbers, that's true. But rarity isn't always about mintage alone. It's about errors, variations, condition, and historical quirks. And the 2003 2 pence coin has just enough mystery to make it a numismatic sensation. What makes this coin so special, so incredibly valuable? Let's pull back the curtain. You see, among the standard 2 pence coins minted in 2003, a very small batch is believed to have been struck using an older reverse die from before 1982. That's right, some 2003 coins may bear the words, New Pence, instead of the expected 2 pence. For those unfamiliar, here's the twist. Between 1971 and 1981, British 2 pence coins carried the inscription, New Pence. But in 1982, the wording was officially changed to 2 pence. If, by mistake, a 2003 coin was minted with the old die bearing New Pence, it becomes instantly rare. An anachronism. A time traveler. A collector's dream. Now, imagine being the lucky individual who spots that tiny discrepancy, the New Pence, instead of 2 pence, on a seemingly average 2003 coin. Your heart would skip a beat. Because suddenly, you're no longer holding 0.02 pounds sterling. You're holding a key to a secret that only the sharpest eyes and most informed minds can truly appreciate. But that's not all. The condition of a coin can dramatically impact its value. A pristine example, uncirculated, flawless, with sharp edges and no blemishes, is worth exponentially more than its well-worn cousin. In the case of the 2003 Elizabeth II 2 pence, coins that are found in mint condition, especially if they contain anomalies like the old inscription or minor die errors, can fetch astonishing sums on the private market. The appeal doesn't stop at errors and condition. There's also the emotional and historical allure. This coin represents a bridge between generations. Queen Elizabeth II had by 2003 already surpassed 50 years on the throne. Her image on the coin is a reminder of her resilience, her unwavering duty, and the constancy she offered in an ever-changing world. For many collectors, owning a coin from this era is about more than monetary value. It's about preserving a fragment of history. Let's not forget the role of provenance. If a coin can be traced back through auctions, collectors, or even royal collections, its value rises even more. In some cases, stories surrounding a specific coin, who found it, where, and under what circumstances, can be just as compelling as the coin itself. There are tales of people finding rare 2003 2 pence coins in inherited jars of change, inside antique furniture, or tucked away in forgotten piggy banks. Each discovery fuels the legend. Each find makes collectors around the world ask, could I be next? Coin conventions, online marketplaces, and auction houses all buzz with the mention of this particular coin. Enthusiasts scour listings with eagle eyes, hoping to spot the faintest sign of rarity. The search has become something of a modern-day treasure hunt. Forums light up with hopeful questions, appraisers field calls from excited amateurs, and dealers keep their networks close, ready to pounce if one should appear. In recent years, the value of the 2003 2 pence coin has skyrocketed, not because it was always rare, but because its mystery, combined with a surge in global interest for UK coinage, has elevated it to legendary status. And as stories of million-dollar purchases make the rounds, more and more people are drawn into the hunt. It's not just about coins anymore. It's about the thrill, the possibility, the adventure. So what's the current market saying? How much is this seemingly humble coin actually worth today? Brace yourself. Because in recent private sales and collectors' circles, the most pristine and rarest examples of the 2003 Elizabeth II 2 pence, particularly those with die errors, misstruck details, or the fabled new pence reverse, have been valued at a staggering $17 million. Yes, you heard that correctly. $17 million. For a 2 pence coin, let that sink in. A piece of metal that once passed casually through hands to pay for sweets, magazines, or train tickets is now a crown jewel of the numismatic world. It's a reminder that history often hides in the ordinary. That everyday objects can become priceless treasures. That our past, our culture, and our monarchy are preserved not just in books and museums, but in the very coins we carry in our pockets. So, the next time you glance at your change, take a closer look. Inspect the dates, the designs, the tiny details. Because somewhere out there, maybe even in your own home, lies the next great discovery. And maybe, just maybe, it's a 2003 2 pence coin with a secret worth millions. Thanks for joining us on this extraordinary journey through time, value, and intrigue. If you found this story as fascinating as we did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Ultra Rare Coins History. Every coin tells a story, and we're here to uncover them all. Until next time, keep searching, keep collecting, and remember, the greatest treasures are often hiding in plain sight.